want to thank each of you for being here tonight. This is a public hearing for the Florala Comprehensive Development Plan. We're going to look at the final draft. Very few people understand the true significance of municipal government. It has an impact on every aspect of our daily lives, from dogs to garbage, water and sewer, to infrastructure, recreation, economic development, and public safety. The powers that are delegated to this city council play an integral role in the communities they serve, or this community they serve. They're empowered as a municipality to provide essential resources and services to their constituents and to the businesses that are located within our community. And they foster a safe and vibrant space for our businesses to thrive, for our citizens to live, work, play, and prosper. The purpose of a municipal comprehensive development plan is a strategic framework that guides the long-term growth, development, and sustainability of a community, addressing various aspects such as land use, infrastructure, and public service. The plan serves as a blueprint for this group right here and our mayor-elect to manage growth and development effectively. It outlines the community's vision and goals for land use, infrastructure, housing, economic development, and environmental sustainability. The plan is essential for ensuring that the development aligns with the community's needs and aspirations while balancing economic, social, and environmental considerations. This is phase 3 of our Alabama Community of Excellence program. The community and the development. The Planning and Zoning Commission, hosted by Lead Florala, held their first community meeting at the Rodney J. Evans Building, February of 2024. Ms. Tracy Delaney, she's sitting over here to my left, she was introduced at that meeting as the community planner that was going to guide our community through this process through the leadership of our Planning and Zoning Committee. Would each of you raise your hand if you are a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission? Okay, they're sitting up here. By statute, the mayor is required to be a member. You have to have an administrator, which is the clerk, and you have to have a city council member. The other 6 members are appointed by the mayor. Okay, so that tells you who the commission was. Okay, during this time, participants as well as the public were invited that included our Lead Florala graduates, the Friends of Lake Jackson officers, the Community Center of Florala officers, the members of the Housing Authority, the Airport Authority, the Library Board, the Cemetery Board, the Industrial Development Board, the Utilities Board, the Downtown Development Advisory Council, the Board of Adjustments, the Recreation Board, the Tri-Cities Chamber of Commerce, the Mayor and Council, the Director of Public Works, the Projects Manager, the Police Chief, the Lake Jackson Park Manager, the Library Director, the Court Clerk Magistrate, the Senior Center Director, and the City Clerk. This group of participants that's just been mentioned met several times and participated in programs that included completing community surveys, previewing a summary report of the Florala Strategic Action Plan. Speakers came and addressed education and economic development issues that were identified from the surveys that this group did. Leadership, capacity building, asset mapping were some of the instructions, and the overview for this entire plan was also given by our city planner. The Planning and Zoning Commission conducted an open house meeting on October the 24th, 2024, 1 year ago, to receive public comments on the proposed Florala development strategy and the long-range vision and goals for Florala. When you walk outside this doors right here, if you look to your left and look to your right, all of those displays are out there for you to see. After the open house meeting, the Planning and Zoning Commission met with the city planner once a month for several months, in addition to the regular monthly commission meetings until the final draft was completed. During the planning process, citizens were given another opportunity for their input into the plan by ranking the identified developmental strategies from the open house meeting in a survey format. This final draft is the result of the citizens' input. Prior to this public meeting tonight, the community was given the opportunity to read the draft. The plan was available electronically, as well as hard copies were available at the Florala Utilities Office, the Senior Center, the Florala Public Library, and the Clerk's Office here in the Municipal Complex. The public hearing tonight. Each participant will have 3 minutes to address the mayor, the city council, and the Planning and Zoning Commission members concerning this draft. At the conclusion, the Planning and Zoning Commission will conduct a brief meeting to approve a resolution if they decide to do that for the city council. The city council will go into their regular monthly business session at the conclusion of the commission meeting, which should be shortly after 6:30 p.m. At this time, do we have any citizens who would like to address this draft plan? Ms. Wiggs, would you come on up front? The Planning and Zoning Commission members are sitting up here. There's a table over here and a table over here. Thank you. There's one here.
I have a general question, I guess.
So there's a microphone right here, so everyone can hear. Thank you. You have to turn it on.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, good.
All right. Thank you. And thank you guys all. I would like to thank you, by the way. I've read this document, and I'm almost in this entirety. I didn't quite make it the whole 96 pages, but I did read most of the document, and I found it to be a very beautiful document. And I guess my question for you guys tonight is, what exactly is the city voting on as far as this comprehensive plan goes? Because as I read it, most of it was a plan on what we are going to do, what the city is going to do, or hope to do, with a bunch of privately owned property. There was only one mention that I saw of a city-owned property, which was the property there on 6th Street, which you guys actually tried to sell a few months ago, which is kind of curious because you're planning on, according to this document, making it into a parking lot, which is a beautiful idea because that's right next to downtown. It's a perfect place to be able to walk. But I guess my big question for you all is, this document is very intensive on what everybody else is going to do with their own private property. So what does your guys' vote tonight on this do as far as for the city of Florala? I hope that makes sense.
Do you want to address that? She is here, she can better address that. She's been doing this for a very long time. I can address it and get some of it right.
I'll give it my best shot. That's a loaded, multifaceted question.
It is.
Number one, the purpose of the public hearing is so that citizens have an opportunity to comment on what they agree or disagree with in the plan. And then the Planning and Zoning Commission and then the council can take action on whether they adopt the plan as their guide for growth and development. You know, the city doesn't own and that's not really the growth direction that they want, then you have some idea to adjust what you're gonna do with it, you know? Because all that has to go through a permit process and a site plan development process. So it gives you, as citizens, some degree of, I'm losing my word here,
Control.
not control, but well, certainly input, but also influence and security in your purchase of property. You know, that the future plans are for this area to be residential, this area to be commercial, that you can make a sound investment, some protection of your investments. I guess that's what I'm looking for. So that you can make some sound investments based on the growth plans for the city. Because if the city doesn't have any growth plans, everybody's floating in the wind, and you know, it's a 50-50 shot on that's the direction the city's gonna move or not. So, a part of this is to engage citizens in moving forward together. You know, this is the reason for all the public input and bringing everyone together is so that you can move forward together as a town. Through changes in administration, through life changes, through people moving away, businesses closing, businesses opening. This is your growth plan. It is a growth plan. Let me emphasize that. It is not regulatory, but it is your plan for growth for the future.
Good question. Any other comments?
Yes. Ms. Tracy, I'm under the understanding that this plan, comprehensive for the city, is basically, it's not one that's set in stone. In other words, the council would be able to change it from year to year if we need to. And I got some calls today about citizens upset because we're going to be telling them what to do with the private property, especially the downtown area, hanks, the buildings, the structures and all. What can you tell me to help them understand what this is truly about? In other words, we're not trying to take over the city.
No.
Okay.
You're referring to historical preservation. I've had some calls concerning the historical preservation part.
No one can tell you that you have to, regarding historic preservation, that you have to do a certain thing with your privately owned building. The city can plan and hope that everyone will join together to improve the appearance, improve the walkability, make sidewalk improvements, recruit more commercial development, that kind of thing, so that you feed off of each other and have better income. However, they can't twist your arm and say, put up an awning. That doesn't happen. But the whole movement of joining together to make those improvements can benefit everyone. There was a second point to that question, and it's
The specific question that I got was, we have several properties that are listed on the National Register of Historical Buildings and Properties. Their question was, do I have to follow those guidelines if my building is one of those?
only if you take money from, use the National Register, the Alabama Historic Preservation, those federal funds, state funds for your improvements, then you have to follow their guidelines. But if you don't accept their funds, if they're available, then you don't have to follow those guidelines. The other question you talked about, this is not written in stone, it is a plan. It should be reviewed every year, it should be updated every 10 years. And there are some things in there that are very long range. You know, they're like 25 years out. But if you don't start thinking in those directions now, 10 years from now, they're still gonna be 25 years out. So, you know, we will
planning and zoning commission will do like updates and present it back to the council?
Yes, ma'am. Minor updates would not be a major deal, but if you had a significant updates, you need to go through the whole process again. But you've got a good base to start from.
Any others?
Yeah, well, I'm ready to speak.
Sure. Your citizen.
I would like to say that if you don't have a plan, you got chaos. And that's the whole focus of this. And we've got this opportunity to put in place a long-range plan, short-term and long-range. And, you know, there's been a lot of people that had input in this. And I remember one of the last meetings that we had with Ms. Delaney, I thanked her for doing this plan. She said, well, sir, let me correct you. This is my plan. This is the plan that the citizens of this town have made suggestions that we need to implement. And you just remember, we don't have a plan. We have chaos. And, you know, I understand that a lot of people want to say, well, I don't want anybody telling me what I can do with my property. I understand that. But this is a plan. But let me ask you this. Would you want to buy a piece of property with the understanding that I'm going to build a house right here, and then some ritzy industry comes in and puts a concrete plant right next to your property? Just think about it. You want a plan so that there is a focus for you citizens to know what's going to happen in this town. And without it, we are just kind of floating on the breeze, and you know, wherever we land, big deal. But if you want the town to prosper in any way, we need a plan. And while I'm standing here talking, I want to bring this up. I have heard too many people say, oh, we don't want Florala to grow. We like it just like it is. Leave it like it is. Leave it like it is. I want to encourage people to understand, where do you think we get money to have a school? If we don't have students, hence from people moving in here and having children, we won't have a school here. I remember when my kids, and you know, I'm old compared to most of y'all, but I remember at one time the whole threat was all these people that live here are going to be bused to Pleasant Home to go to school. So you people with children and grandchildren, y'all need to think long about that. If we don't have some growth and people to go into our school system, this town, you know, will just kind of slowly go on down and fall off the map. So Council, I'm asking you to consider the importance of having a plan that everybody can adhere to, and in hopes that we have some success in the growth of this town. You've got to have growth, y'all. That's where taxes come from. That's where our city gets money to pay our police, you know, all the bills. And without that, you know, my children are gone and gone from here, but a lot of you still have children and grandchildren. I would think that you would be very interested in there being some growth here. So I look at a plan as an opportunity for growth.
Thank you. Any other comments? Questions? Concerns? Well, it appears that most everybody has probably already come. The Planning and Zoning Commission is going to go to the back of the room. They're required to have a quick meeting to make a decision regarding what they've heard tonight in relationship to all the comments that have been made. All they're going to do is they have to have a very brief meeting. At the conclusion of that meeting, we will come back, and as soon as we can, we will enter into our regular city council meeting. If you have not signed that you are present tonight for this meeting, there's a tablet in the back there, a notepad, and I think probably everyone has signed. We cannot thank you enough for being here tonight and showing your interest in the plans for our community. So at this